Hey y'all, I am Kaya Simone and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be recapping episodes Love is Blind. Season 7 DC focused on Tim and Alex. And if you're new here, I like to do more of a deep dive onto each of the couples, the main couples, versus doing an episode by episode breakdown. That way I'm able to say all of my unfiltered thoughts and opinions and not worry about being spoilers. And just how the episodes get cut sometimes, it becomes really, really weird to just say, okay, episode 1 and 2 just focuses so much on like Garrett and Taylor versus we don't see any much of Tim and Alex, so I like this format. Anyway, please give me a video, and please give this video a like and subscribe if you like that kind of thing. And I'm coming to you from a random boat in Wilhelmshaven, Germany. I went on a river cruise if anyone is actually curious. And I don't do vlogs, but if you're curious on a vlog for me, sure, let me know. All right, let's get into this. Tim is 33, a web content strategist who says he's a self-proclaimed old soul and has been built on marriage from a very young age. We have Alex, 33, who's a producer, who will love a diamond ring on her finger and has unfortunately had really bad luck in her relationships. All her relationships have ended very dramatically, and spoiler, this one is no different. So I love Black love. I'm so happy that there's 2 main Black couples on the show. I'm pumped about it. But the thing that kind of like put me off immediately about Tim and Alex was that they were just kind of like trauma bonding from like the get-go. Because Tim told the story about how he lost both of his sisters. I think one had lupus or cancer. I can't remember what the other one had. And he kept saying to Alex, you know, like, the only way that I can get my parents another daughter is by getting married, and I want you to be that person.
I'm gonna say something to you that I have been thinking, but I have not said out loud to anyone.
What?
I get to give my parents one more daughter.
And it was just like, I get you, sir, but you don't need to be saying all that. You really don't. And then on Alex's part, she mentioned that her parents had multiple sclerosis, both of them, crazy enough, and how her dad, you know, like her dad has been with her stepmom for like 20 years, and like she's really taking care of him as he's like declined over the years. But her mom, she had a partner for about 10 years, never married, and the moment her MS got worse, he stepped out and dipped out. And like, I think it's such a big story because like it tells you so much about how it's so important to choose the right partner. And like it's statistically proven that men are less likely to stick around if something happens to the woman. So the whole like in sickness and health thing only applies to the women caring for the man, not the reverse. So it's really important to be careful. All in all, like nothing seems too crazy. There's no like hiccups in the relationship that we were seeing. The very first sign that we see is when they go to Mexico. All the couples have hook up with their partners. Only one couple is really weird about it. Nick and the blonde girl whose name I don't remember. I go by the time her video comes. Marissa is saying something to Steven. She's like, hey, do you know what's going on with them? We don't know. So I think something happens off site because one of the episodes, in episode 5 or 6 ends with Alex sitting on a couch, like being very pensive, going like this, and then Tim walking in and being like, yeah, like I just like, need to step away. And Alex is just really mad. She's like, okay, why are we having a discussion about this? Like, why are we not talking about it? And he was like, well, I couldn't do anything right in that moment. So like, I just want to remove myself from the situation.
The way you were just like, pack all your stuff and leaving, that's a different like giving space. That was, I'm never coming back.
And she's like, yeah, like, I'm sorry about that. Like, I didn't mean to like hit you. And he's like, yeah, you did put hands on me. And like, so basically what happened from what I understand, I'm guessing he was talking. She was saying something that he didn't like. He was saying something that she didn't like. And she put her hand over his mouth like that. And he just felt like,
we just left this party. Suddenly the energy is off.
I just miss home. That's it.
I felt very shunned in the moment.
When I covered your mouth, I feel like that made it even worse.
he couldn't have a room to talk at all. And I was like, to me, I'm like, okay, you guys need to tip out. Like, why are we doing this? Because the moment someone feels like they need to personally invade your space and put a hand on you, even if it's like not a fight hit, I feel like that's just not a healthy relationship. And I feel like they started off so toxic. So I can't imagine like why it'd be working any better than it did.
I have to figure out how to get in a good space and place again to where I can see you as my wife, the mother of my children.
We jump back to DC or Virginia or wherever the hell they stay at, and like the apartment. So if you're not familiar with Love is Blind, so basically they will do the pod stages, their honeymoon Mexico phase, and then they will get apartments for all the couples, basically simulate what a married life would look like. So basically it's a very accelerated relationship. Also as part of that, they go do home visits. So you meet the people's family, but you also see what their actual apartments look like. We see Tim's. Tim has like a nice luxurious bachelor pad home. Like, it is perfect. There's not a thing out of place. You would think this man like as a home decor designer, like this place is on point. We flash to Alex's place There's dirty dishes in the sink. There's bad food in the fridge. The apartment is a mess. She's getting out of hoarder vibes. Like, definitely not something that, like, even if you are like that, before you leave on a trip when you know that people are going to come to your apartment, why would you not be better? And so this really catches Tim off guard because he's just like, oh, okay, like, how would our two lives integrate? Obviously not. Again, another sign where I'm like, this is not going to work. But you know, we're hopeful, we're good. So Tim meets Alex's dad, who has MS, and he writes this letter to him, basically asking for Alex's hand in marriage and saying how great of a father that Alex's dad has been and can't be part of the family. It was a lovely, lovely fucking note. So what's about to happen is just gonna be crazy about it, but whatever. And so Alex's dad gives him a permission, and we're like, okay, cool, Gucci, like maybe things will be fine after all. But no, we meet Tim's parents, and he's having this side conversation with them.
We did bond on so much of the deeper stuff. She is my first ever fiance for a reason. I think we're always in sync when it comes to some of the lighter things.
And I was kind of giving the vibes like, okay, I see. You're kind of like already stepped out. Like you're not that in it. And something that we end up learning is that this is also filmed weirdly, so the first interaction that Tim and Alex have with their parents, like they're doing a weird intro. So it seems like they refilmed. One of the things about the season, they seem like they were refilming scenes that already happened. So there's a lot of like things that just like don't feel necessarily genuine, especially in the interactions with like meeting the parents. We end up learning that Tim is mad because Alex took a nap after Tim's parents had driven 10 hours to see her.
As soon as the cameras cut, you decided to go to sleep at the first opportunity. These are the most important people in my life, and all I have left in this world.
Crazy statement. And Tim was like, yeah, the moment like the camera stopped filming, you were out, you were dipped. So you're only present when the cameras are rolling. Otherwise, you don't want to be around. And if he actually feels that way, again, why are you with this woman? And so that's kind of like the whole point of contention. I think we've gotten a lot on Tim's side at this point, but not really Alex's. So you kind of get the sense that it's probably that like Tim is going to call it, if anything. So that's what happens there. We get to like their final like interaction. Basically, Tim is breaking up with Alex. Tim is just sitting down, and you can tell that he is checked the fuck out. Like he is done. He is over it. And in this moment, he's like really rude. I was like really rude. Like I think like you'll see a clip here.
And a wife, I have to be honest with myself that the answer between you and I, for me, is no.
I mean, is your mind made up?
That is what I said, yes.
Okay. But I just think he was inappropriate for someone that you said that you loved, that's someone that you would have thought you're gonna marry like a week ago, like to be this mean about it. So he brings up the fact, of course, that she fell asleep when his parents were there. Alex defends herself as she should, and she's like, no, I talked to them for 4 hours. We had long days of filming. I took an hour nap and then I was like back out. I'm sorry I wasn't present the whole time. And like, do I think Alex should have been awake the whole duration, never taking the nap? Possibly, but like I don't know what time it is. Like, was it 3 a.m. and they were talking, or were his parents also tired? Like, because they were just drove for 10 hours. Like, so maybe they wanted a nap. Like, I just think that was like being blown into proportion. And he was just using for evidence. And I guess that Tim was just looking for reasons to not be with her at this point. And Alex is like, okay, you seem pretty like set in all this. And Tim's like, yeah, I don't see any scenario where I see myself saying yes to you and you being my wife. I never want to see you again.
No scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever. And I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever want to see you again.
That seems crazy to me. Like, I'm sorry, but you're telling me that what has happened, again, I think there's probably lots of things that happen off camera. We'll see what comes to the reunion, but you are telling me that things have been this awful, this contentious between you guys, that you are going to be literally fighting about this and wanting to break up with her, and you can't work things out. I don't know, it's just kind of like what I've got this sense is that people want things to be so easy in the moment that things are a little bit hard, that people just want out. And I don't like that. I think to go on a show like Love is Blind, you have to be in the right space to be in love and feel like you can get there quickly. And a lot of people can't, and that's what we've learned. All right, guys, that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.